Hello, world. Hello, internet. Hi. Welcome to Explorers of Elsewhere Live. We have all arrived. My name is DM Dan. We're on the Explorers of Elsewhere. We are live to play some Fabula Ultima, the penultimate Fabula Ultima, the Fabula Penultima, if you will. I'm allowed to make this joke. It was my birthday yesterday. Hi, Carl.
Hi. Happy Star Wars Day.
Happy Star Wars Day. Happy Star Wars Day. Hello, Theo.
Hello.
Hello, Georgia.
Hello.
Now, is everyone back? Hello, Alec.
Hello.
There we go. And hello, JC.
Hello.
How are we all doing on this beautiful British bank holiday?
Good. Doing good.
Yeah. I am looking forward to tonight's episode. So far, your player characters, your pilgrims, have trekked across the plains of Calathar, scaled the mountain, Mount Yuji, went to a couple of shrines, had a bit of a scuffle involving an avalanche, came home. Now you're home. Shopping episode, beach episode. Rest. It's the R&R episode, and I think it's we've earned it, haven't we? We just earned it. So with that in mind, if you are watching live or listening live, well, you're not listening live. You might be listening live. But if you're listening, if you're on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow us on Twitch. If you want to chat about what we're doing here on the channel, you can jump into our Discord. The link is in the descriptions, where we have a natter. We post art from the various episodes. If that you have the opportunity to chip in and sort of like help generate some lore or sort of like name characters in the campaigns, so that's always fun. If you want to massively support us, we do have a YouTube membership. We do have a Patreon. It's only a couple of pounds a month, but it gives you access to some exclusive stuff or some early stuff, such as Nate Staggerheart campaign Sanctuary, which, to be fair, is about to come to an end. But if there's anything new in the future, it may well be doing a similar kind of thing. Also, it'll be things like actual plays. I mean, I definitely need to get some more Thomas Actually Life in my life. So
You need to make Comstock.
Well, he's got to be on the wheel. He's got to be on the wheel for me to select him for you.
Rig it.
So, yes. We are going to jump into it. We are playing Fabula Ultima, which is a fantastic little game. It's a love letter to tabletop JRPGs. If you want to play it, you can grab it from DriveThruRPG, and if you use our affiliate link, which is also in the description, it doesn't cost you any extra, but it does give us a little bit of a kickback, which is beautifully handy. Hello, Nate in chat. Hi. Who wants to crack on with episode 4
of
Last Pilgrimage? Go on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's go.
War. It has affected us all. And now there are those who honor the past to celebrate the peace we have won.
Hi, my name's Carl, and I'm playing Kaya, Sangovar Elemental Pugilist.
Hi, I'm Alec, and I will be playing Ruvain, an Aesival rebellious dancer.
Hi, I'm JC. I'm playing Veronica, a Loravar mercenary priest of Yala.
I'm Georgia, and I'll be playing Elspeth, a retired Wolfkin sellsword.
Hello, my name is Theo, and I'll be playing Walter, a Loravar eccentric artificer.
And my name is DM Dan. I will be the games master for this adventure.
Some say we have peace when the fighting is done. But tell me, how hard will you fight to keep the peace we have?
Sit a while and listen, for peace is a quiet thing and easily overlooked. Its truest shape is not found in grand treaties or the silence of battles, but in the heart's glow, the laughter, the shared grace. Those you love are safe. Home, in all its humble forms, is peace made real. That we have returned to such moments, after the ruin of the War of Dragons and the shadow of the eschaton, is no small miracle. The world was broken, and yet it mends. From ash and sorrow, life has dared to begin again. And so we might believe that peace has triumphed utterly. But do not be fooled. Peace is not merely the absence of war. It is the understanding of what is worth defending when war comes. It is purpose, held firm against chaos. For only those who know what they would fight for can truly choose not to fight at all. And so, we find the five of you stood before the gates of the town of Harukaze. But before we go any further, this is the start of a new session, so therefore you have all leveled up.
Hey!
Hey!
You are now level 8 characters.
Hey.
So if you could, well, let's start with Elsabeth. What did Elsabeth learn when she hit level 8?
That, Dan, is an excellent question.
Is it? When I was having a look at your character sheet, is it a second rank of melee
Yes,
weapon mastery?
I believe it may be.
Okay. Let's say that. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Go.
Based on
yes.
context clues from last week, I assume that's what I decided to do. Yes.
Okay. Amazing. So yeah, that means another level in Weapon Master, one would assume.
Yes.
So that's gonna be, yeah, you get like +2 to weapon attacks, I think, right? Yeah, +2 to weapon attacks. That's pretty cool. Kaya, what did you grab?
Well, after the whole like snowflake scene, it would have made a lot of sense to take a big like snow attack. So instead, I took lightning bolt, which is a big thunder attack.
Amazing. So you've taken Thunderbolt.
It would have then fight some snow, and what better to fight some snow with than lightning?
Exactly. Yeah.
Alec, what did Ruvain pick up in the aftermath of last session?
I picked up the Ouroboros dance. I'm very excited about this because it sounds very broken. So choose one ally. Choose one ally you can see who has yet to take a turn during this round, and they may take a turn immediately after yours.
Oh, okay, so you can activation stack.
Yep, so I could literally got someone to go acceleration and just, there you go, your turn now.
Amazing.
Really living up to that speed mage.
Yeah, fair. Veronica, there was something sexy I spied on your character sheet. Is that what you picked up last session?
Something sexy, if that's your way to describe ritual spiritism.
Oh, I thought. Well, maybe it is, JC.
We don't judge.
I thought it was Soul Weapon, but
I gave myself Soul Weapon at level 7.
Why is it so warm?
We didn't
I
discuss
see.
it. So Soul Weapon allows me to imbue anyone's weapon with light damage.
Ooh.
And then I've also given myself the Spirited Rituals, which means I can perform like little miracles of various levels of power, depending on what you say.
Yes. The thing I really enjoy about the rituals in Fabula is that there's no like it's just whatever, isn't it? It's just like out of combat magic, and yeah, you can do the big gnarly stuff with it. So yes, rituals that fall under the effect of the spiritism discipline. That's grand. That's very grand. Very sexy. And finally, Walter. What did Walter pick up?
My one not so sexy. Well, maybe who knows if you're into that sort of thing. I took another level in Lawmaster and gained Knowledge is Power. Knowledge is Power is so when I perform an accuracy check, I may replace one of the attributes dice with an insight, which is quite useful, I think, going forward, as it's one of my higher stats.
Yeah, it's handy to give yourself a little bit of protection against slow, like reducing your dexterity and that. Cool. There we are. There we are with our new level ups. So yes, as I say, we find the 5 of you at the gates of Harukaze. To paint you the picture, in front of you is this relatively large stone wall. We're talking probably at least 15 feet high of kind of stacked stone, upon which rests a parapet-esque walkway with a blue painted wooden roof. You can see every so often there are guard towers built into this wall. And Harukaze itself is a town built upon this sort of like rocky, craggy mound-like hill. From where you are, you can see the highest point of Harukaze, which is this sort of like plateau-like mesa at the top, the center of the hill, and kind of standing proudly on a kind of like effectively looking out over the town of Harukaze is the portal to Aevermoor, a very large arch flanked by an archway built between 2 kind of red tile topped towers, and nearby the town hall, the town's primary shrine, an abbey, which is is effectively sometimes it's a bit of a stayover spot for the priests that are heading up to Mount Yuji in the south. Back to the wall, to your the large double doors in front of you have just been one of the doors has just been pushed open by the goblin guard in front of you. You can hear some sort of like you can hear some chatter to your right, as to your right there are a lake that is kind of that hugs the side of this mound and is now kind of walled off from the rest of the town, that has been converted into what is effectively a cold weather rice paddy field of sorts. As this gate opens, you can almost hear the hustle and bustle of Harukaze kind of rise and greet you, and you can see like the townsfolk kind of going about their business on the other side of this wall. And so as the 5 of you pass through the south gate, we follow you into the town. The tokens should be free move if you want to start wandering around.
Ooh.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
So we have the town of Harukaze, and I absolutely cannot take all of the credit because the vast majority of this map was done by our Carl.
Hey.
Oh,
Very nice.
it's really, really lovely.
So,
Thank you.
yes, say Harukaze is built on this
Wow.
kind of rocky
It's really cool.
rocky hill. There are some quite sharp drops, like cliff-like drops. So around most of Harukaze are these kind of high stone walls topped with like the blue covered walkways. But in other areas, the walls aren't necessary because the natural kind of rock faces act as the defensive perimeter instead. Harukaze backs onto the large, like a large river. And whilst you certainly wouldn't be able to see it for the large mound of, the large town between you and it, you know that river would be a relatively bustling trade route. Boats kind of sailing up and down, transporting goods here and there, or goods coming from Aevermoor into Harukaze and then down out to the docks and then being sailed off to other nearby settlements as and when they're being set up. But yes, so we focus on you 5 as you enter in through the south gate. And enter into sort of like the lowest streets, physically the lowest streets of Harukaze. You can see that there are a number of guards in a wooden watchtower in front of you. They are just kind of gently, calmly observing. Harukaze is it's a peaceful place. It's been here for about 3 years. Everyone's just kind of happy to kind of get on with life. But Walter and Elsabeth, you see two guards spy you, and they kind of give you a wave, recognizing you obviously as residents of Harukaze. You can see the guards holding identical kind of circular shields that are painted blue with these white painted metal strip bands, almost in like a bit of a sunburst kind of motif. And they are all wearing this tartan-esque fabric of whites and sky blues that, it's a gift from once upon a time to the town of Harukaze, and is now worn as like the uniform of authority, if you will, amongst the town guards. That fabric hangs loose under studded leather armor, and all the guards carry spears. Some of them wear helmets. But yeah, this one particular keeper just, "Ooh!" she shouts out to you from the watchtower, giving you a big wave. But with all of that in mind, what's the plan, Batman's?
Should we find the highest authority? So we need to tell someone about this thing descending from the mountains. Would it be best to find the mayor or the highest? Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. In which case, you the two you, so Walter and Elsabeth, you certainly know where to go. I suppose Kaya would intrinsically as well. But the town hall lies at the top of Harukaze, near the portal back to Aevermoor, and that is, obviously the office of the town mayor. So, are you all beelining straight up?
Mm-hmm.
Got a job to do.
Okay. In which case, as you
relax,
as you make a right and begin kind of heading up the slope, it is effectively a long street that is an uphill climb known as the Rise. The Rise has a large number of the sort of like more residential houses. Originally, the town was founded from the top and kind of worked down. So this is where a lot of the in inverted commas, the standard houses are. You pass by Oremarket, sort of like the market trading area at the bottom of the hill. And as you reach the top of the Rise, you skirt past what is effectively like a nobles district called Oematsu, named after a very kind of famous bard that was part of the original expedition. You can see the cherry blossoms standing in contrast to the kind of towering over the high roofed buildings of Oematsu. And it's an area of some kind of deliberate construction. As you make it up to the plateau, you can see the brown tile roofed town hall. There is a kind of square tower that emerges from it with a with a large kind of town bell that hangs from it. But next to the town hall, dwarfing the town hall, is Otera Abbey. The first building to be built here by the priest, dedicated to the priest Otera, the priestess Otera, beg your pardon. And yeah, the abbey operates as an all faiths shrine of sorts. Yeah, as you sort of head towards the town hall, you can see the portal to Aevermoor to your right. There is a relatively steady trickle of like individuals and carts traveling through the portal itself. The portal stands an impressive like 20-25 feet tall, and I say it's built between these two kind of towers, topped with red tile roofing. As you make your way into the town hall, you see sort of like at what is effectively the reception desk, a bespectacled Lorivar lady kind of looks up from the ledger that she's writing in. The feather in her quill, as well, for those of you who aren't locals, it looks like a very, very, very extravagant feather to be attached to this writing quill. To Elsabeth, Porter, Kaya, this is pretty normal for Doris here. But yes, this, I say, the clerk looks up and, oh, hello. Can I help? You all look a bit flustered. Have you all just been running up for eyes?
Hi, Doris. You may remember me. I'm Walter. We moved here not too long ago. We'd like an audience with the mayor, if possible. We had some business up in the shrines to the north, and we think there's something you may need to know about quite urgently.
Oh yes, I do. I knew I recognised you. Yes, Walter. And yes, you're the couple that's moved in down the. Yes. How have you been finding the moving in? Has that all been good? Or is everything still in boxes?
Oh, it's fine actually, but it is really important we speak to the mayor if he's free. Or
have you met your neighbours yet? Have you gotten to know your
Doris,
neighbours?
darling, Doris. Listen, urgency is key. Like,
Doris raises a finger. Excuse me, ma'am. I'll just finish with these two, and then I'll be right with you.
Doris, we're all together.
So yes, have you?
It's really important.
Oh, are
to
you?
speak to the mayor. Really important. I wouldn't ask it for it. Like, please, it's very, very urgent.
Ah, is it very important?
Yes.
I see. Well, he's not here.
Huh. Where is he?
Actually, sorry. Slight retcon. They're not here
Ah.
because the mayor's going to be a community design challenge. They're not here. They're not here. Yeah, they were called away. They were called away last night. It was very, very curious. They received a summons from some of the merchant houses up at Rumor Hironobu. I don't. The mayor rushed off in a hurry. Was given kind of special permissions to use the trains to head into the capital. I'm told that they told me that we were to expect them back at some point after lunchtime today. So actually, and she looks up at a clock. The mayor should be due back relatively soon. I appreciate it's a very important thing that you need to tell them, but yeah, if you just, I mean, you'll certainly know when the mayor's back. So yeah, if you just want to potter around a little bit, and then when they're back and they've settled in and they've had some tea, I'm sure they can have a little audience with you.
Above table, Dan.
Yes.
Do I know the area enough to know who the next best person is to speak to? Even like head of the guard or someone with a little bit of authority, so we can just, even if they aren't really interested in talking to us, at least they know in case something goes wrong.
Kaya's sighing deeply as she sort of like, aware this is probably Walter's mind process. She's like, Doris?
Yes, dear.
Where's Masanori?
Oh, well, we all know how busy Masanori likes to keep himself. I'm sure he'll be around the town somewhere.
You have been very helpful, Doris.
Oh, thank you. You always did have a way with your words, Walter.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Well, we will return when the mayor returns. If you are able to send word to us at all, we will be about town.
Marvelous. Well, we'll do. As if nothing else, you'll probably hear the mayor huffing and puffing as they make their way up the rise. They really need to get out more. Get more steps in. The outside, you know, the area around is beautiful. They should go for more walks.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
As you turn to leave, the clerk kind of looks down at her ledger, and then, like, there's a look of kind of like she's remembered something, and then she looks up and looks directly at you, Ruvain. The elderly gentleman that you were with, he wanted me to let you know that he's been to let you know that he's been admiring the. Hang on, I can't say the wrong word here, so let me just Google search if I'm about to say the right word. He's going around admiring the horticulture. And when you're done, when you were back, he asked you to seek him out if you have the chance.
All right. Ruvain just nods and also looks a bit guilty.
Yes. And with that, Doris very proudly gets back to writing in her ledger.
Kaya leans over to see the crossword and she's like, fall down, hag.
Oh yeah, she says.
Oh.
So yes, after so you emerge having been thoroughly civil serviced.
Bureaucracy.
So yes, you now find yourselves stood outside the town hall, and armed with the knowledge that the mayor will be back soon, with the capital S trademark, and that Masanori is around, capital A trademark. What's the plan?
We must find people quickly and let them know what is happening. We cannot wait.
Kaya, do you know much about Masanori?
Yeah, Masanori's the sheriff of the town. I could start a fight. He usually pops up real quick after I start one.
I mean, we could square up here and now if you think that would be good.
Maybe that's not the best idea, but it's a It's a backup if we can't find him with normal means, sure. Maybe check the market.
Probably
If we need
best place.
supplies.
He'd be keeping out an eye for pickpockets and stuff, I imagine.
I
Okay.
do need to stock up on supplies, to be honest.
Okay. So you all know that the market, if you will, is sort of like back down the rise, and then make a left at the bottom, and that will take you into Oremarket, named for the kind of the primary product of sale when Harukaze was first being established, and trade with the goblins of Ruma Hironobu was beginning. If you want to head to Oremarket, by all means. Are you all going as a group, or are you splitting up and making my life hell?
I think Ruben will go, but also on the way ask if anybody has seen Mr. Old Man that was mentioned.
Mr. Oldman.
Is there anyone you're asking in particular?
Just like, I think they'll probably look for anybody they recognize, maybe people from the that came with them during their travels here. That will make things a bit easier. But if not, they will literally just maybe like a town guard, somebody who might notice people coming and going.
Sure. Well, in which case, as you make your way off the plateau, I'm just going to grab you and pull you back. When you get to, you sort of like come off the plateau, and then you get to the sort of like the T-junction. Turning left would bring you back down the rise, but turning right, like you can see these kind of very elaborate and very fancy-looking buildings. The cost and quality of these buildings are clearly that like much higher, and the fact that they all seem to be kind of designed by the same architect, perhaps. As you look at these buildings, does it remind you of home in any way, or is there an area of home that this reminds you of?
Is there a specific type of architecture you're thinking of, Dan?
No, just. I mean, you notice that the roofs are quite sort of like quite tall, pointed roofs, but then they kind of like flatten out, like kind of curve out.
Okay, yeah.
So it's certainly all the same, very very similar design, but yeah, sort of like this. I mean, what home for Rouvain? What sort of like social economic landscape was that in?
Socio-economic landscape. Can you
like did
explain?
you come from a rich city or town, or a poor town, or
more like kind of in the middle, I say, because it's there's a lot of trading, so it is well off in a way, but it's not a city type of richness. It's more like it's pretty nice, it's quite well off, it's got a lot of trade coming through, lots of different type of people coming through, but it's not by any means fancy.
Okay. I mean, in which case I can only imagine, if you take a moment to sort of like peer into this quite clearly more affluent area, and you notice like across the way there seems to be like a garden area walled off by a fence and some very well maintained like shrub like square bushes, like flat top bushes, and like within the garden there are these they almost look like small trees, with a very delicate, very light pink, almost like a blushed white rose-like flower growing on it, and like as they sway gently in the breeze, you spy a figure walking between them, and you recognize him for the kind of the yellow traveling cape he's wearing.
Immediately rushes in.
Okay. As you sort of like Well, I'm. Everyone else has just beeline down the rise, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think if Rain hadn't mentioned that she was looking for somebody, then I think we would have just all beeline thinking we were all going the same way.
We've lost one of them. We've lost one of them. In which case, yeah, we'll focus on you, Ruven, for a sec. As you kind of rush into this area, like you see a sign a wooden sign with gold filigree writing, very neatly saying "Welcome to Oematsu." And as you peer through the railings of this metal fence that kind of separates the garden from the rest of Oematsu, you spy this, like, you confirm this elderly Aesavar. His sort of like white hair neatly combed back over his head, of relatively like a well-maintained like chin strap like beard, this bold yellow cape held in place by a metal clasp around which dangles a like an amulet studded with 5 topazes, and the lunchtime sun kind of shining off his, his pristine white robes. He's leaning in and looking at these blush white kind of roses, leaning heavily on his walking stick. Are you just kind of opening the gate and heading in, or?
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, as the gate creaks as you open it, he turns around and there you are,
Old man.
Ruvain. You've spoken about this. I can just barely tolerate uncle, but I will not suffer old man.
Ruben just like, I mean...
Whether I'm old or not is not a part of the equation, Ruvain.
Fine. Anyways, and then they start telling him everything that's happened. Like just a bullet.
Just trauma dumping on this man.
They are, yeah.
Okay. Okay. In which case, as you flashbang this old man, Alec, who is this old man and why are they important to Ruvain?
All right. So this is never give your character elf names because they're very hard to pronounce. Let me just check.
Lathriel.
Lathriel, thank you. So his name is Lathriel, and basically he is one of the more elders of the community, like what's left of their home, who ended up in charge of wrangling a lot of the youths who lost their parents, including Ruvain, who was a bit on the older side compared to the others, but still. And so he kind of became a father figure to most of them, including Ruvain, for the past few years. And as you can imagine, Ruvain is the one that gives him the most headache out of all of them. And they are close, but as you can see, there is they are a bit of a handful, and he's always like with them.
Okay. Fair. In which case, as you just splurge the events of the past 3 episodes onto Lathriel, his furrow, his kind of the deep wrinkles on his brow, they furrow even deeper the longer your story goes on, and you notice that his face kind of goes from this ever so slight bemusement to it gets progressively more serious and focused and stern, and it almost looks as if he's kind of biting down on his back teeth harder and harder as you talk, as he's taking it more and more seriously. And as you finish and Lathriel takes a deep breath, we will pan over to the others down at the bottom of the hill. Walter, Kaya, Elsabeth, and Veronica. As you enter into this much more kind of compacted, condensed area, like there's a lot of buildings kind of built in around one another. The streets are a lot. Initially the streets are significantly tighter, but you can see large open spaces that have sort of like at the moment bare, empty market stalls, like the shells of market stalls. And that on market days, this place, these plazas would brighten up with all sorts of colourful fabrics and kind of barking merchants trying to sell their wares. You can hear there are still bazaars and kind of markets that are trading. And the one sound that kind of peels out through all of it is a relatively rhythmic ding, ding, ding of the blacksmiths just off to the left of you. And Walter and Elsabeth, you know that in the blacksmith is Holland, one of your neighbours. Otherwise, if you're on the lookout for the town sheriff, Masanori, he's not where you're currently standing.
We could always do a little split up in this area and then just come round and meet again if we could find.
Yeah. We'd always go ask Holland and check in with him, see if he's noticed him today. And I can grab some supplies at the same time.
Yes, Kai will put off this way.
Okay. So as you head east, Kaya, Veronica, it looks like Walter and Elsabeth are eyeing up the blacksmith. Are you striking out on your own or sticking with Kaya?
I'll chaperone Kaya.
Okay.
Just in case.
She decided to start a fight.
Okay, so Kaya, you know that you're currently, so you're currently in Oremarket. You're gonna switch. Hold. Oremarket kind of stretches off a little bit. It hugs. It kind of narrows as the first kind of wall watchtower kind of cuts in, and then it kind of spreads out, and there's more kind of barnyard style stables that push further up. As you then, Oremarket, when it loops round, will eventually kind of give way to Floodtown, which is the more lively part of town. You could refer to it as that, but curious in that all of the buildings that were originally constructed there had to be rebuilt after the river flooded the first time. So now it's an area of the city effectively built on stilts. It's all raised up off the ground, wooden floors. Yes, if the two of you are kind of is there any area of Oremarket? I mean, by all means, tell me if there's any particular kind of shops or markets or tourist traps that you are visiting.
Kai sort of peels off. She finds I guess there'll be a group of what would normally be quite troublesome youths or maybe potential thieves and stuff. And he goes up to one sort of Sanquavar sort of girl amongst them, flicks a coin in her direction. It's like, where is he?
this girl sort of like wipes her nose with the back of her hand. Where's who?
Where's who? The person you're normally hiding from. Who do you think I'm talking about?
The girl sort of like gives you a look, opens the palm of her hand, and looks at the coin that you've thrown her. And I saw him up near Floodtown. Apparently, someone got stuck in a toilet, and they had to. He was summoned to help get him out, and he was not pleased that they summoned him of all people.
Seems like a waste of his efforts, but there we go.
You wouldn't have known it. I thought he was just a bit of a busybody. I would have thought he'd like the attention.
He just likes doing good. Give him a bit of a break, all right?
But he's always talking about getting people out of shit.
Just keep your nose clean today, all right? Don't have to share a cell with you again.
The kids like roll their eyes, and then sort of start leaning against the back of leaning against the side of a shop with their arms folded, looking mean and tough.
Loitering
with it.
Claps and just this big spark of flame just go poof.
And there is a chorus of as the kids scatter in different directions.
She turns around to Veronica like, they act tough, but they're still kids at the end of the day.
As they go, the kids have scattered, but then one stops right next to you, Veronica, and is just looking at you, and then looking at the flag, the sashimono on your back. Is that heavy?
Do you want to try and lift it?
There's this sort of like this child, and then we're talking like child, like their top lip kind of curls up to reveal their top teeth, as if they're thinking about it, and then nah, and they sheepishly shake their head, and then kind of run off into the ground. There you go. So yes, Masamori appears to be more up towards Floodtown, apparently. Meanwhile, Walter and Elsabeth, if you're heading to the blacksmith, you can hear this kind of rhythmic, metallic ping ringing out, and you know Holland is clearly kind of working the anvil. And like as you kind of come around the corner, you see Holland, and he is this slab of a wolfkin man. There's this voluminous red ginger beard, but curiously it doesn't grow down, it just grows out like sideways, and just kind of blossoms round until it kind of comes into a point. It almost looks a little bit heart-shaped in a way. Not that Holland would ever allow you to say that. But yeah, he's like, he wipes the sweat off his kind of shaven head, and puts the hammer down and like stretches his back and rolls his shoulder as he turns around, and is wiping the kind of his hands on a cloth, and oh, hello, he says as he spies the two of you.
Hello.
You're and he squints, and Elsabeth, Walter.
That's right. Hi, Holland. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It has been a slow day, but there is still always something to build, at least. Just nothing exciting.
Well, I'll tell you what is exciting. Those crossbow bolts you helped me make before you left,
yes.
they've been doing amazingly well. Thank you so much.
I'm glad that the runic carvings were correct to your specification.
Thank you so much. Like, seriously. You haven't seen...
Holland clasps his hands together and does like an awkward half
Just an
bow.
awkwardness. You haven't seen Masanore anywhere this morning, have you?
He's sort of like he's flung that hand rag over his shoulder and
we always seem to know where that old goat is.
but then he sort of like scrunches his face up and then sort of like looks into the blacksmith and yells,
Adalan, have you seen Masanori?
He shouts out. And you hear this patter of feet, like a teeny tiny patter of feet. And a very young, like rose pink haired goblin girl runs out of this sort of like back room, tailed by a bearded Lorivar man. And this goblin girl launches herself at Holland's leg. Papa! She says as she like gloms onto his tree trunk leg. She's kind of like, while she's grabbing, hugging around his leg, gripped in a death grip, is what appears to be a goblin teddy bear. It looks like a goblin with button eyes in like yellow overalls. And Hatalan, who you know to be Holland's husband, I can't say. Well, I do know that I did hear that there was some trouble over at Floodtown. Perhaps he went that way. He's usually keeping himself busy around the town, isn't he?
Yes, we should probably go there.
Yes, immediately.
Yes.
Thank you both.
How are you finding the move in? How are you finding the move in? Hatlan says to you. The offer still stands. If you need anything to help you settle in, just let us know. Just let us know. There's this brand new. There's some new trading laws in Aevermoor, but the choice that is, the choice of what's around as more expedition towns are being founded. There's all sorts of amazing things that are popping up in the bazaar. So I can certainly put in a good word, bring something back if you need it. And sort of like he flashes you that sort of like award-winning merchant smile that you've realized he has, presumably well practiced from his days from his profession as a merchant in Aevermoor. You see him pass your house every day as he takes his cart up to the portal to head into the capital.
We really appreciate it. Thank you both so much. And he probably gives the daughter a nice little wave as well.
And now we must go. We have very important business. Walter.
Yes, sorry.
Of course, says Holland. And their daughter, Chalsa, sort of like grins at you with a row of teeth that are missing the front too.
Oh.
And Holland, as you kind of turn to leave, Holland kind of gently ushers Ulcer away and not too close to the anvil, he says. And, yes, Papa. And she kind of her hand is taken by Hatalan, and Hatalan gives his husband a quick kiss on the cheek, and we'll see you at home. And then the two of them kind of disappear back up the rise. In which case, as the two of you kind of scoot off and rendezvous with the other four, the other two, pardon, Ruvain.
Surely, you need to tell someone.
Lathriel says.
You should speak to the mayor or the town sheriff or someone like that.
That's who we're looking for. I don't know if my friends find them, but we're looking for anybody, really. Sorry. No.
Lathriel sort of like purses his lips. If you arrived with those other companions of yours, yes? What have you returned with the others that you went on this road trip with?
Yes.
Well, and I assume that they are also looking for the right people.
Mm-hmm. They went that way. They just point.
Okay. Well,
point down the hill, basically.
Do your best to catch up with them, and Ruvain, don't get into trouble.
I won't promise anything. It just runs off.
Okay. In which case, as you sort of like run off through Omatsu, there's a couple of sort of like finely dressed, noble-looking like citizens that kind of give you the stink face as you kind of ruin the peace with your speed. And as you make your way back onto the rise,
I can't help but think about what they can do to just be annoying to those people because they're like, "Excuse me," kind of thing, like.
Well, as you kind of go past, as you make your way, as you get to the top of the rise, you're about to pass the large building, the large tower building that you know is the library. When and as you kind of round a corner, there is suddenly this shape in front of you, and you full on collide with this wall, and like as the force of it kind of knocks you back on your ass, and you hear a crumple in front of you. Like as you open your eye, your forehead throbbing from the impact, sprawled out on the ground in front of you is this gangly keeper girl, like keeper lady. Like she looks like she's been stretched out a bit too much. Like she's just a bit too tall, and like her arms don't seem to bend in the right places. So she looks a bit kind of spaghetti-like. She's got these like auburn hair, kept in place by a white headband that's also wrapped around her horns that look curiously like dried branches. And she's sort of like, ooh, like rubbing her arm where your forehead connected, like right on her funny bone on her elbow. So she's just like, which way you all going? She's sort of like,
it's an emergency.
And as this keeper sort of like scolds you, and I mean she's about roughly the same age as you. You hear a second voice, Yara, is everything okay? And this rather plump Aquan sprite kind of runs out of the library, a book under an arm, followed by a floating lantern that is illuminated with this pink glow. And like this sprite just takes one look at the two of you, and then he wheels to the keeper. And what have I told you about not looking where you're going, Yara? I apologize for my friend. She is as dexterous as a deer on ice. Are you okay, dear? He says, and like goes to help you up.
Okay, I'm okay. You don't happen to know where the mayor is, do you?
Well, as I understand it, the mayor was called away to Ruma Hironobu on some important business. But it was curious, and it was such a late calling. Clearly something so exciting that it couldn't wait until morning. But I mean, I know that the mayor doesn't like being underground for all that long. I suspect that they'll be back relatively soon.
Is there anybody else I can find? Sheriff? Do you know where the sheriff is?
No, but I'm sure others will find him eventually.
All right.
And yeah, as you kind of look down, you like this sprite in his little black waistcoat is you kind of immediately peg him. Oh, you're the lawkeeper, you're the librarian of the town. And this sprite sort of like offers a hand up, and my apologies, Forrest, he says, and offers his hand up.
They will shake it very enthusiastically.
And as you do, you notice like this almost like cold tingle, where his fingertips kind of are wrapping around your hands, as there seems to be this sort of like ever so slight ice manifestation about this Aquan sprite. And if I see Masanori or the mayor, I will let them know that you are looking for them. And beg my pardon, you are?
My name is Ruvain.
Ruvain. I'll let them know that you're looking for them, Ruvain.
If you can't find me, find an ace of our old man. His name is Lathriel. He'll find me.
Okay, very good, very good. And he makes some notes. He gets there's a pair of glasses hanging around his neck on a gold chain, so he puts them on. Very good, very good. Yes, I'll certainly keep an eye out. And Yara, you should keep an eye out as well. And perhaps only walk for the next 30 minutes. Slowly.
Ruvain's like, thanks. Bye, Yara, and they just ran off to find the other four.
Okay. So as you scoot down the rise, the four of you have made it into sort of like the edge of Floodtown. And you hear a commotion before you see it. Like there appears to be what sounds like an argument happening. And as the four of you round a corner, you see this very, very angry looking Ace of our woman. Kind of like her lower half is drenched in water, like she's just sodden from like the waist down, and you hear her bellow, "I do not understand why I have to pay for it when you were the one who kicked the door down." And in front of her, as you kind of get an angle, is this older, rather tired looking Laravar man in like a bowler cap hat, a black waistcoat, seemingly holding on to dear life to a major staff, which has this kind of blue coalition of mana that floats above its head, floats above the top of the staff. And as this elderly Laravar lets out this dejected sigh, the embers in the end of his pipe kind of light up a little bit, illuminating his kind of older, more grizzled face, his handlebar moustache, his kind of shoulder length graying hair. And if you call me to get your husband out of the bathroom and you refuse to find the key, then we are forced to kick the door down. That is not my fault, I'm afraid, he says. And this Ace of our woman is clearly just having none of it. And as she continues her trial, you just see Masanori, and he pinches the bridge of his nose.
I would like to step in, Dan, and cast a spiritist ritual to try to try and summon a spirit of peace and calm the emotions of everyone involved.
Amazing. Roll me an insight willpower. Woo. It looks like Mr. Blobby.
The most calming image.
Insight willpower. Would you say it's a minor potency with an individual area?
Yeah, I would say so. Oh, there's a whole thing, isn't there?
Mhm.
Sexy.
It is sexy, so you were right.
Does anyone want to support the ritual check? Is it or only Carl? You can tell me. Are only ritualists allowed to support ritual checks?
I actually don't know off the top of my head. I haven't actually come across rituals all that much.
Can anyone do an Abe's Odyssey? Yo.
I believe it is a group chat. I think I'm the only other person who can do rituals, being an elementalist. I guess. Sorry again. This is what you come for, people. Two grown men looking for a book for rules. Rituals. Rituals. 1-8.
Sample rituals in combat. Rituals group checks. Other characters can help even if they have no ability to perform rituals themselves. So if anyone in the area, in the local vicinity, would like to help this, calm down, Doris. Calm down, make this ritual. Let me know how.
Can my solid stoic aura at the back of the group as I loom assist?
Yes, you can. Kaya, you're too frenetic. It seems like Elsabeth is striking that gentleman frog pose.
Kaya's enjoying watching Masanori struggle.
Just love the idea that Elsabeth basically have like the peaceful intimidation vibe.
Yeah. It's like arguing with a mountain.
Walter, are you chipping in?
I don't know how helpful I would be. I feel like Walter's the kind of person to put his foot in his mouth in this sort of situation, where I think if the two people in the group who are the most calm are involved, it makes more sense, narratively speaking.
Yeah, in which case, JC, I think you can now hit cast ritual. There's one success, one failure. And why does that say failure? We should be a +1 at the very least, because Elsabeth did help.
Yeah, why did that not work?
Yeah, I just succeeded at this.
I believe you would have also got something for the bond we share.
Does that matter that you failed, though?
Potentially. Page 50.
Because I know you had the highest bond of those who supported you.
If you have any successful characters who have bound towards the leader, is added to the leader's check. It doesn't talk about successful failure.
Okay, so there's a bond
+2.
1 +2. Okay, so that takes you up to 7, JC. Would you like to? Are you able to spend a Fabula on that?
Well, if you hit 7, he would have hit it. They would have hit it.
Oh, sorry, yes, of course. Yeah, because I was thinking it's 10. Okay, grand. So that is what does this ritual look like, Veronica? Yeah. Nate has suggested it's you summon a Scouser and calm down.
So in lieu of the Scouser, we feel a warming wind that blows through her sashimono, kind of wrapping around the angry woman. As we feel the calming presence of peace, the one half of Veronica's faith,
Okay. In which case, so as this kind of warming wind brushes past you and makes the Sashimono kind of flutter a bit more energetically for a moment, as it kind of breezes over this Aesvar lady, she sort of like purses her lips together, and I suppose he did get stuck in the toilet, she says. And then somewhat like her shoulders drop slightly. Fine. I'll get it fixed. I know he doesn't like doing his business with the door open. And the Aesvar sort of like nods at the sheriff and then sort of like notices the four of you stood around, not particularly realizing she's kind of been hit with this kind of area, this zone of peace. Thank you, Sheriff, she says. And she kind of turns about and heads back into her home in Floodtown. Masanore, he kind of slowly turns his head to regard you, and that was certainly one way of diffusing a situation. And you can see him sort of like scanning the four of you. His eyes linger on Kaya for like a second longer than the rest of you. But then he sort of like almost shakes his head as if to say, that definitely wasn't you. And then looks at you two, Walter and Elsabeth, kind of, it's not you either. And through the process of elimination, his eyes settle on you, Veronica. Thank you.
Toilet troubles, Sheriff.
Yes.
You have time to do the knacker's work.
Perhaps I should be pleased that this is the extent of my duties. It could be a lot worse, I suppose.
That is why we are seeking you out, Sheriff, I'm afraid.
What do you mean?
We have news from Mount Yuji. And you are the highest authority here at the moment.
The Masanori sort of like looks between the four of you, as if reading your faces. What faces are you giving him?
Concern.
Yeah.
Walter looks concerned.
Concern?
No, not that kind of concern. Like
Actual concern.
Actual concern, yeah.
Okay. Is Elsabeth looking concerned, or is she as stoic as a rock mountain face?
She is looking directly into his eyes.
Into his soul. Okay.
Into his soul.
Does Kaya look?
Yeah, it's kind of clear on Kaya's face as well that there is something going on.
Okay. Tell me everything that has happened, Masanori demands.
It's a bit of a long story, but we'll give you as much information as we can. We left on a pilgrimage together along with a friend. I'm not sure where Ravain went, and hopefully she'll be back very soon. But we found some trouble up in the shrines. Some priests were being murdered, and we discovered a renegade group who were able to summon a wild spirit and then cause an avalanche, and they threatened everything. And we need to let people know. We've already spoke to the surviving priests in the shrine area on the mountain. They've gone to send word in all the other local towns. We were coming here, back home anyway. But the mayor is apparently not here, so we felt best to at least tell you.
You're right. The mayor was summoned away to Hironobu, but I feel that this is something that perhaps shouldn't wait for the mayor. and you see Masanori sort of like Walter Rouvain, you're still relatively new to the town, but you've noticed this about Masanori, is that when he's thinking or when he's stressed, he sort of like rapidly licks his lips, and Kaya, I guess you would have thought of it perhaps as it almost looks like he's a little lizard, just tongue poking out and wiggling about a little bit. The sheriff, we should head back up to the plateau. We might, in the absence of the mayor, if there are priests being murdered on Yuji, we might even need to raise the alarm with Aevermoor.
Yes, exactly my thinking.
Okay. Masanori nods, and there's a nod and there's a slight thankful smile on his face as he looks to the three of you, and then his eyebrow naturally raises slightly as he looks at you, Kaya. Trust you to be in the eye of the storm.
It's never my fault. It just seems to follow me around. Except the last time that I concede that one was definitely my fault. But everything that's happened so far has not been my fault.
Masanori just sort of grumbles and
I replaced the window, all right.
Come, we follow me up to. We need to follow me up to the plateau. And the thought of having to climb up the rise again dawns upon you. Hart, is there anything that any of the four of you are doing before joining Masanori on this escort quest?
I do need to quickly grab some inventory points from the Oremarket.
Sure.
Actually, yeah, that might be good. I might need to chug a few potions and replace them. So.
If anyone. So, as you're passing back through Oremarket, Masanori, in which case Masanori says, I will meet you up at the plateau. And yeah, the sheriff sort of begins kind of walking off with pace. You notice there's a slight limp on his leg as he goes. Yes, anyone who wants to top up inventory points in Oremarket, it's 10 wealth, 10 currency per IP. Okay. And as the four of you are sort of lingering around Oremarket, you hear you see this blur of blue sort of run past before Rouvain spots the four of you and skids to a halt. And Rouvain, you have rejoined the rest of the party.
Sounds very scarily like the sound from Animal Crossing, where you change direction rapidly.
Then they got distracted by whatever shop that people are looking at and go, ooh, and then start to just join in and start shopping with them. Let me see where I am with my item level. Actually, I have some currency.
What did you say? Sorry.
So say again, JT. Sorry.
What was the cost of the item points?
10 per IP.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need. Are we gonna get a rest at one point?
It seems like something's happening now. I'm guessing one of the four would have filled you in about Masanori. Yeah, it seems like your little quest is soon coming to an end.
Well, it's
to
because
sit down.
I have okay, yeah, because I have a bit lacking on my MP, so I'm wondering if I should use an item, but I will get 3 item level thing.
What's this, Alec? You've got low MP.
What do you mean?
The sky's blue, the day ends in AY, and Rouvain has no MP.
They have 52, but I don't trust it without it being full, considering how many things I have on my thing now. So is it 10 each, you said?
10 per IP, yeah.
Okay, so it will be 270. Thank you.
Got 2 sims left. Right, are you all stocked up at the shops? Okay. And are you all heading back up the rise to rendezvous with Masanori?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back up the hill.
Back up the hill. In which case, as the 5 of you head back up, you find Masanori kind of stood near the portal. And he's currently running his tongue along his top teeth, because effectively there is what appears to be a traffic jam at the portal. You can see this like horse and cart trying to leave Harukaze to go to Aevermoor, but sort of like half emerged through the portal is what appears to be what you can only describe as this large, like we're talking like 8-9 foot tall, badger-like creature with this shell on its back, like a snail's shell. The snail's shell is painted in this like bright, vivid pink. And this badger-like creature, this snail badger creature, this snadger, if you will, appears to be wearing a little kind of derby hat with like a string keeping it attached to its head. And pulling on the leash to sort of like guide this large beast in is this goblin with the most chiseled facial features you've ever seen. He's got a faded, like his hair, he's got like textured hair on top, trimmed into a fade. The stubble that kind of lines his exquisite marble carved jaw is carved into what look like water waves. He wears a salmon coat with yellow shoulder tassels and sort of like dangly yellowy strips from sort of like the nipple area. And he's got this like aloof look about him. His lips are seemingly permanently pursed. And as like it's clear that he's refusing to sort of like reverse back into Aevermoor, and this cart's not able to kind of go back either. So they're just clogging up the front of the portal, like the actual portal itself. And Masanori is just sort of like hands on temples, like one of you just needs to move. He's sort of like waving his hands wildly. And this goblin, I would have you know that merchants of the Varn Consortium do not step aside for others. Move your cart out of the way, he says, kind of gesturing to the Harukaze merchant. It's much hard. I've got a cart behind this beast, and it's much harder for me to walk backwards than whatever you call that beast, he says, kind of gesturing to the horse pulling the merchant's car. And yeah, there just seems to be a bit of a blockage. Who's Walter? You're a Aevermoor resident, aren't you? Well, an ex Aevermoor resident.
Yeah, I'm an ex-Aevermoor citizen.
In which case, you sort of like, you know that if this goblin is part of the Varn Consortium, apparently it's this like mercantile organization. It appeared about 2-ish years ago. It was headed up by this this sort of like fledgling business entrepreneur. As you understand it, this goblin arrived back some years back when that city off the coast of New Prosper, Elysia, when that reappeared. So yeah, this goblin has sort of like started up this trade empire, this consortium, and now effectively franchises other goblins to sell his wares.
Fun.
You believe you're pretty sure the CEO of Varn Consortium is called Musto. The penny has dropped for JC.
Great.
Yes, this salmon coat wearing goblin who is clearly doing everything he can to looks Max is refusing to budge.
Great. Interesting. Is there anything we can do, or shall we just?
I mean, you can, if you want, like, wait a while and watch is certainly an option on this dialogue tree.
Do you, Elizabeth? Shall we have a go at moving the cart in the way?
Yes, I think that would be for the best.
Are you talking about the consortium cart?
No, I don't think she wants to attempt trying to move the snatcher, but the other cart, which is probably just a cart, would be easier to. Yeah.
Sure. In which case, yeah, as you sort of like begin helping to, because effectively the horse pulling this cart just doesn't want to walk backwards, and it makes it really awkward when there's a cart attached to its backside.
The horse.
You can pick the horse up if you want. Yeah, okay. Kai wants to roll a might, so it sounds like you are in fact picking up the horse.
Okay. Is this? It's a group chat. Yep.
Yeah, group chat.
I will support the group chat.
Looks good. So Kai's getting a +1.
Might is my lowest stat. So...
Hey.
Okay, perfect. Between the two of you pick up a horse. The horse looks very disgruntled with this turn of events.
It's how I pick up Percy. It's on both sides. You pick it up like that.
And sort of like the Majani trader just makes a noise as he gets rotated as you move the front of his cart, like rotate the cart around. And this goblin, oh, thank you, he said. Finally, he tuts. And then as he sort of like goes to yank, he yanks quite violently on the reins of this snail badger creature. And as the creature like snuffles at him, and sort of like looks at the back of the goblin's head and bares its teeth as if it's just. Ruvain, Veronica, Walter, those of you who aren't sort of like entangled with the cart, you notice, like it's I think Veronica and Ruvain specifically, you feel something shift, like something imperceptible shifts. And Walter, you kind of see this, it almost looks like a flicker across the portal. I mean, for us, it would be like, getting static across your TV screen. It's like this ever so slight flicker. But then Ruvain, Veronica, you notice that it feels like mana is suddenly, like the flow of mana is suddenly kind of being disrupted in a way. Like it's almost being sucked into a hole, like water down a drain plug. And as this goblin tries to sort of like get the snadger to move, and you can see that there's this very expensive looking gilded cart that's kind of half in Harukaze, half in Aevermoor. And when I say expensive, we're talking like really cheap car, but with like low rims and spinning hubcaps type thing, like gold plating. The portal to Aevermoor crackles, flashes, and then vanishes. And the force of this portal collapsing in on itself, the snadger lets out this cry of surprise, as it gets pulled backwards. Its claws kind of digging 10 trenches in the ground, and this very expensive looking cart is crushed into this almost like black hole singularity of the portal collapsing in on itself, until all that's left when there's a like a final release of energy are just the supports that were attaching the cart to the back of the snatcher. This goblin merchant has just been pulled backwards by the badger being wrenched into the portal, and his back is now just covered with dirt as he's been pulled along the ground slightly. But Masanori stood next to you, his eyes blink, and "What now?" He sort of like shouts out as the portal to Aevermoor just blinks out of existence.
Oh no.
That's not good.
Is there anything I can do to try to like figure out what just happened to the like magically? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a insight willpower, I guess.
1 second. Open.
Yeah.
Dex. No, we don't want Dex. We want insight, and we want willpower. Submit to the rolls.
15. Ruvain, as you sort of like study the portal, you notice that the runic inscriptions, like that effectively act as the roadmap for this portal to wherever it's connected to, they seem to have been the word off the back of a 15. The word that you kind of use is scrambled. Like they've been. They've been EMP bombed in a way. They've just been disabled. Almost, and as you peer at the runic engravings, it's almost as if they've been burnt out, like overloaded or something. And in the 3 years since Aevermoor started creating portals to the rediscovered world, but like established portals like this are stable. The only time there was a mishap around about a year ago, apparently a portal exploded, but that was as far as you understood, external forces were responsible for that. But yeah, a portal just like turning off is strange.
Not good. Not good. They're gonna turn around to. I assume Veronica and Walter are close by, right? Like close by, literally, to Ruvain, rather than being a bit more spread out.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So they just kind of turn around and go, "This is not good. This is strange. I don't like this."
Neither do I. So, if we've been cut off from Aevermoor, now what?
Masanori, like, he sighs as the expedition that founded Harukaze. Like, you've learned since you moved here that Masanori was the assigned mage. I will begin. I will have to go through my tomes and find the runic configurations. We'll have to reopen the portal to Aevermoor. I hope that the mages of the concourse will be attempting to do the same. And once we are both reaching out to one another, then we will be able to re-establish connection. You're right. At this point in time, the only thing I can recommend to the five of you is waiting for the mayor. We definitely do need to raise the alarm, but
Sheriff, this summons that took the mayor on the train out of town, where did this come from?
It was from one of the trade cartels, one of the merchant princes of Hironobu. It was a peculiar summons. It was a strange time of the day to request an emergency audience with the mayor. Clearly, and strange enough that the mayor decided to leave with all haste. But these trips to the goblin undercapital, they rarely take too long. The dwarves are too efficient to let things meander. So the mayor should be returning soon.
Okay. This is disappointing. I wanted to be able to actually actively do something.
I understand your frustration, Walter. I will, as soon as I get this portal open, we can raise it. Well, as soon as I can get this portal open, whether or not the mayor has returned by that point or not, we can let the authorities know of what has transpired on the mountain. The five of you look exhausted. Whilst you can, you should get some rest.
Ruvain's going to ask, like, is there somewhere I can? Is there like a magical library somewhere here, or like a library with magical tomes?
You literally
There
ran
it
as a librarian, didn't you?
You
Yeah.
crashed into someone right outside.
Yeah. So, well, I think they're gonna ask you is we'll say just like, oh, this guy's a librarian. They haven't asked what their specialty is at the time. But I think they recognized the librarian if it's told that that's the person to go to.
Yeah. Okay. In which case, if you're Ruvain, at the very least, if you're thinking about heading back down to the library, just kind of down off the cliff, as Masanori sort of like dismisses you, tells you to get some rest and recuperation while you have a little bit of moment. Oh, have you? Am I here?
Oh,
I'm here.
There you are.
Okay, hello. Yes, as Masanori sort of like dismisses you and kind of tells you to take some time for yourselves, as the five of you peer at one another, let's grab a quick break.
Okay.
We will be back in 10 minutes. It's 9:20, and
Yay.
we will have some downtime.
Hey.
Hey.
Right, see you all in 10 minutes.
Bye, 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 bye.
Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Explorers of Elsewhere Live. Hi, my name's Dan. We are Explorers of Elsewhere. We are live, and we are playing some Fabula Ultima in this penultimate episode of Tales from Elsewhere, the last pilgrimage. When we last left our characters, playing characters before the break, we were in the expedition town of Harukaze, which is home, literally home for some of you, but you've arrived to raise the alarm of the attack on Mount Yuji, and in a sod's law has dictated that the people that you want to talk to are not here or not accessible. The mayor is out of town, and the portal to Aevermoor has just fritzed out and turned off. The five of you now have an opportunity to take some rest while you wait for either the mayor to return or the town mage to get the portal back up and running. So with that in mind, do the five of you think you'll be long resting together, or are you kind of splitting up and recuperating separately?
Well, I think Walter and Elspeth were going to offer everyone to come back to our home and rest and recuperate there, and
Have a cup of tea.
as much as we can rest, knowing that we have to wait. Because I feel like even Walter looks quite restlessly impatient. So maybe being in a place where they can chat openly without worrying about stressing anyone else or panicking the rest of the town is probably a good thing.
Yeah, Ruvain would want to go to the library, probably.
Okay, yep, moving into the library, so we can move you there. Tell you what, for Walter and Elsabeth, well, I'll let you decide where your house is.
I was going to say, which one of these houses is our house?
You can choose. So I would say, if I switch back to the map real quick, so Incense Row down at the bottom of the hill, bottom of the mound is like the tradey area. So that's where the reason it's called Incense Row is because of the pungent smells from the tanneries. The area likes to light vast amounts of incense so that can like waft up and mask the smell across the rest of Harukaze, and the name just kind of stuck. But yeah, the lumber mills and just like the crafters primarily operate out of Incense Row. Obviously you've got Oremarket. The Rise is like the in inverted commas first gen residential area. So some larger buildings were built. Those buildings can either be... There's still room for more places to be built. It's just a bit more expensive to be on the Rise. Oremarket is primarily mercantile stuff and shops. Floodtown is the budget option if your house is on stilts and at risk of flooding.
I feel like we're near Floodtown, or at the very least near Northgate.
Sure.
It's because how close it is to the market and
Yes.
both of our needs to buy things. I feel like
Okay.
that's a logical suggestion.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that.
In which case, if the two of you, or if you drag your token to your house, and then that will forever be your house.
I mean, we live there. This is where we live. Elizabeth flies across the map.
You leap from the top of the town.
Superhero landing.
I feel like Walter's the kind of guy who would have installed like a zip wire.
I was just thinking this town needs a funicular.
You guys being so tempted to be like, so the Rise does. This hill is going to kill my knees. I think think about ways to improve life for those who are not able-bodied around here.
And you need to be able to get to the library very quickly.
Exactly, and I love the library. I love the market.
Is Veronica joining, or is she taking some time off elsewhere? I mean, the Abbey with your best friend, Brother Emil. It's just there.
Yeah, is this like this is still in the afternoon? It's not like an overnight rest.
Yeah, no. This is So you arrive back just after kind of lunchtime. So realistically, it's 1, 2 o'clock tops.
So I would like to go to the Abbey eventually, but for now I'm gonna accept the invitation.
Sure. And you hurl yourself off the town.
But obviously, Ravane is welcome to join us after the.
But we'll tell them
She's been told where-
our address.
Give them me address.
Yeah.
Just on a note. There you go.
Okay, so we will focus in on Walter and Elspeth and Co for now. How would the two of you describe your house from the outside?
I feel like it's quite eclectic, even from the outside. I think Walter and Elspeth have quite not like clashing senses of styles, but it's minimalism versus maximalism. And I feel like they've both in their own ways been trying to expand the house a bit, try to do it up a bit. Whereas Walter's I can put anything on anything, and Elspeth I will make a bigger wall.
But hear me out. What if the shelves had shelves?
Yeah.
So it looks like something that has been put upon by two people, but it's two people who aren't fighting; they're just mixing.
Sure. Okay. In which case, as the two of you make your way in, Kaya, what is the one thing inside Walter and Elspeth's house that makes you go, huh? And fair warning, I'm going to ask you the same in a moment, JC.
I'm sorry, Theo. I imagine there's an attempt at painting in the background, and there's this picture of Elspeth mid battle, maybe a memory from the Eschaton or something. But it's Kaya's never really been an art person. You remember that scene from Ferris Bueller where he's just staring at the painting? She's just gravitates towards it. So I was huh. And it's just absolutely mesmerized by it.
I mean, to be fair, I do headcanon that it's a very good paint. I think he's very good at putting his thoughts to paper artistically and in written words. So I think if that's what you're seeing, it's a damn good painting. It's damn good.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm imagining Elspeth astride a mound of bodies, lightning striking in the background.
There are little adjustments she's done in charcoal. You have made me look too impressive. No, I do not stand like that.
Okay, so there's this painting. Is it displayed prominently?
I think she's allowed it.
She's allowed it.
Fair. And what does Veronica notice in this house that I suspect Veronica wouldn't have in her own home?
I think there's some kind of trophy that she recognizes from a battle that Elspeth and her were both present for.
Okay. The fact that Elspeth appears to have taken this trophy, is that surprising, or was it to be expected, or is there a flare of oh, you jammy git? Oh, I wanted that.
No, Veronica doesn't tend to keep trophies.
Sure.
But she's like her. So this is where that ended up, and that makes perfect sense.
Between the two of you, JC and Georgia, I'm very intrigued to know what this trophy is.
I feel like it's possibly a shield, a large, maybe an elbow shield, for raising up against arrows.
Okay. And does it have a dent in it the exact shape of your hammerhead?
Just a little bit. It's a bowl now. It's been curved.
Yeah. They're using it as a fruit bowl.
A couple of bananas.
Wait,
and
was it a
an
shield
apple.
being wielded by a sprite and you just bonk?
Yeah, and it
Oh,
was
amazing.
it was this quite infamous sprite warrior who was known for his shield work and his defensive capabilities.
Amazing. Okay, and yeah, the shield now a fruit bowl. Incredible. Okay, in which case, as the four of you kind of settle in, what would one do in a rest? How does one bond? Is this bit of the bond?
Yeah,
when I click the button, nothing happens.
Nothing happens,
for me,
no,
so I
the-
don't know what happens.
No, when you click the button, that will just give us all like HP, MP, restore status. Bonds are more just down to us to come up with how we want to forge bonds.
Well, I mean, in which case, yeah, Kaya, Veronica, as you sort of like step into this relatively newlyweds couple's house. I feel, Walter, elsewhere for you, sort of like busying yourselves, tidying up a little bit and getting the kettle on.
I was going to say, yeah, putting the kettle on.
Okay. Veronica, Kaya, you have a few moments to yourselves while your hosts tidy up a little bit.
Kaya grabs an apple from the what she thinks is a fruit bowl. When she looks at the shield, she kind of mumbles under her breath, "Oh, so that's what happened to him."
This sprite is very quickly becoming something of legend.
Oh.
His name was Sir Golfington, and there was a sport named after him.
Makes me think he's a little Terran sprite.
Yeah.
Kaya brings an apple to Veronica and it's like, "How are you feeling after laying it to rest? I know it was a bit frantic afterwards, but do you feel lighter?"
Yes, it feels good. One chapter of my life has been closed, and the spectre of the acts I committed have perhaps left me, although I fear for the next one to be opened.
It does feel like things are about to get bad, doesn't it?
I don't like this. I might need to consult with Yala about what I'm feeling, but the mayor's absence to me is suspicious, and the sudden closure of the portal.
Feels targeted, doesn't it?
There is a battle one learns about in the history books where the general was kidnapped in the middle of the night, and then both exits to the soldiers' camps were destroyed and blockaded. It was a massacre.
Yeah. Well, we'll be ready, won't we? We can handle it. This ain't gonna be like that.
I fear this town may not be ready, with ostrich feather quills and the sheriff digging through the latrines.
Yeah, he's not suited for this town. He should be some sort of bigwig in Aevermoor, but yeah, they said they got him kicking down bathroom doors. He's been a thorn on my side, but still wish him well.
War makes strange allies and bedfellows of us all.
That being said, Veronica, can I ask a favour of you?
Of course.
If this all does go south, there are so many like me out there who feel lost, who feel abandoned, who feel they have no place anymore just because they pick what fundamentally everyone thinks was the wrong side. There's an old army out there waiting just to join back in the fight and fight for elsewhere. Not for any ideology or anything, but for elsewhere. If this all goes south, promise me you'll find those people. You'll show them that there is a future for them. Khan didn't take it away.
I don't readily make promises, but I can do my best. Do you feel, Kaya, that you picked the wrong side?
She looks around to make sure that Elsabeth and Walter aren't going to hear.
We're just rattling around the kitchen.
Yeah. No. I mean, things didn't go as planned, and the world broke as a result, but I fought for what I believe was going to be a bright future. And I won't ever apologise for that. I will apologise for, the shit it caused afterwards in the eschaton, but everything was shit beforehand, and there was a chance for it to not be so shit. And I took that. And at the end of the day, here we are just back in the shit, aren't we?
Quite. Well, here's the thing, Kaya. In most wars throughout history, most soldiers don't get to pick the side that they fight on. So the fact that you did at all is a testament to your willpower, and you can exercise that same power in this moment and in any future moment.
Thank you for convincing me to go, by the way.
I didn't convince you of anything. You already wanted to. I just helped you see that.
I think what I'd like from this is to develop my final bond with Veronica. She has a bond of inferiority, a bond of affection. I want to confirm that with a bond of loyalty.
And I will reciprocate.
And I will give you both a Fabula point.
Thank you, dear. It's awfully kind of you.
As the two of you kind of have this conversation, Elsabeth, there is a knock on sort of the kitchen window, the little window above the sink that looks out onto what is effectively what will be the backyard. There is a knock on the.
There.
Yes. High fences, mesh wiring, stop them escaping. You hear a knock on the window shutter, and you hear this kind of familiar voice ring through. Knock, knock, neighbor.
Oh, hello.
And as you peer through the window, there is a warm smile. We're looking back at you from this Majani woman who's a little bit older than yourself, with very kind of pale kind of pink, slightly lavender, pale lilac skin. Her crystal horn on her forehead is tipped. It has sort of a gold ornamentation across over the tip. She wears this green shawl around her neck, and you can see that in her right arm she's holding a basket of fabrics and wools. And I just wanted to see if the thread that I gave you the other day worked well.
Oh, I'm afraid it is still in the cupboard. I have not had time to try, but I will let you know.
And then she sort of like leans her head round and sees you, Walter. And Walter,
Darling,
as you
it
turn,
is Freya.
Walter, as you turn around, you see Freya, the tailor that Elsabeth has. Well, does Walter know of Freya's history? Freya's
I
background?
think Elspeth does not keep any secrets from Walter. They've been together a long time.
Okay. In which case, yeah, Walter, you notice this this like, you know, the Majani is actually quite a lot older than Elsabeth. I would suspect about 14 or 15 years older than Elsabeth, give or take. And what does it feel like looking at this this weaver who is currently framed in your window with a basket of wools, but has a history of being an absolute machine on the battlefield, a blood-ridden mercenary who fought alongside Elsabeth?
I mean, for Walter, I think, particularly during the war and the eschaton, I think he used to, at the very beginning of the war, see things with rose-tinted spectacles. I think he was very much these are the good people, these are the bad people. And then when it came to people like Elspeth and Freya, who were mercenaries who worked for either side whenever, I think he had originally a very low opinion. And even I think it took a little while, especially getting to know Elspeth, to shake those opinions. But you can't judge a book by its cover. There's so much more to someone than just what they present. And in his time in the eschaton, his time since, has learned a lot. You know, I feel like he's getting wiser in his older years. So I think he is very, very polite, very sweet to Freya. He's, "Oh, how are you? It's very nice to see you." I'm sure Elspeth will be making very good work of that thread when we have time.
Freya nods and I'm sure she will. I see that you managed to put that emerald green fabric to good use, Elizabeth, she says, and she's looking at Walter in his emerald green kind of tunic, and
Yes,
then
does
glances.
he not look handsome?
Well, I think he absolutely does. And you as well, my dear. The colour brings out your eyes.
And she looks at the excess remnant of the fabric that you've fashioned into a belt. And yeah, the two of you sharing the same cloth. Yeah, looking quite snazzy, if nothing else.
Well, I'll let you be. I see you have some guests, so do let me know when you've used the thread. I can always ask for more from the capital if you like it.
I think that before she vanishes out the window again, Elspeth will put her hand on her arm. And says, "Could you do one more favor for me?"
Of course, Elizabeth.
Put out the word. There may be danger on the horizon, and people might want a way out of the town quickly, if they can.
Freya stares at you for a while, and she blinks quickly, as if she's, you're watching her process this information, and then wordlessly she just nods and
do not spread panic, just make people aware.
Of course.
And what seems like military training almost kind of kicks back in, and
stay safe, both of you.
You too.
She whispers. And then as she takes a step back from your window, almost like looks over her shoulders to see if like anyone's approaching, and then she heads back off to her own home. Between Walter and Elsabeth, is there anything that the two of you are discussing as you're waiting for the kettle to boil?
I think Walter is a little anxious. I think he comes across quite sprightly anyway, but I think he's coming across a bit too sprightly. That kind of like restless energy of like, he doesn't like waiting around anyway. He's someone who likes to get stuck in and do things. So I think as he like starts to take command of the kettle and like, oh, maybe we could get out some snacks for Kaya and Veronica. Do you think maybe that Veronica would like these particular breads that we got from the market? I think she'd really like those, and she's like kind of going like he's like really like spiraling a bit.
And she'll put a colleague hand on his shoulder. My love, you are talking too much.
Right.
What is wrong?
Right. I don't like waiting.
I know. We waited a long time. The calm before the storm can often be the worst part.
Yeah. Something feels so wrong. I'm worried. So worried.
We have foreknowledge. We have gotten here before anyone else. We can plan.
We can plan. And we can help people if we need to get out.
Yes. And above all else, that is what we will do.
He will squeeze. He will take the hand that's on his shoulder and give it a kiss.
And she'll squeeze his hand. And give the bread to Veronica.
Yes, no, I will.
Has Walter just been stood there with the serving plate?
I feel like that's like if there's a plate that he's like been preparing. And he's like,
it's like a charcuterie board.
Yeah, my God, there's hummus. There's just it's good. He wants to treat his friends. He wants them to feel welcome and safe in his home.
Okay. In which case, as Walter, you sort of like scoot out to the sitting area. While Elspeth, you begin sort of like brewing the tea now that the pot has boiled. Go on, two of you can have a Fabula point as well. Meanwhile, Ruven, we find you in front of the library where you clattered into that gangly keeper earlier. Are you... So what is it you're looking for again? Okay. In which case, as you head into the library, it very much looks like it certainly doesn't look like a library in a traditional sense, kind of thing. It seems more like this perhaps this was like a storage warehouse type building that was retrofitted, like retro-purposed to be a library. Perhaps once Harukaze had kind of established itself a bit more. But yeah, you just find it's a very curious, very eclectic kind of layout. But it does feel like a well-tended, well-loved kind of repository of knowledge. you can hear, like, it's quiet. It's quiet in there. The only sound you can really hear, apart from the wood creaking under your feet, is the very kind of quiet from the little ice sprite that you met earlier. And he appears to be, well, he's sat on one side of a table, just happily kind of scribing something in a book. And sat opposite him is the gangly, is the lanky keeper that you clattered into. She's on a chair, rocking back on its back legs, her feet crossed up on the table, and she's got a book balanced across her face. And she's just perilously rocking backwards and forwards on this chair, and like at any moment it looks like she's going to teeter over. But yeah, they're just complete polar opposites of like chaos and order, but they just seem very almost like yin yang with one another. And the sprite doesn't really kind of acknowledge you, so by all means, if you want to start having a little rummage for yourself, or by all means approach.
Do you have books on magical portals?
Apology. Okay, sorry, say again.
So basically they approach and immediately just get to point. Hi, like hi, librarian. Are there books on magical portals or just magic? Yeah, has to do with portals and stuff.
The sprite turns around to you and oh, hello. Oh, yeah, you're back, Ruvain, right?
Yes. Hi.
Hello. Yes. Sorry again about earlier. Yeah. Yes. I mean, we certainly have a number of tomes and scriptures on parchments on portal technology. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Anything that can cause a portal to collapse.
To collapse?
Not.
The sprite sort of like hops down off his chair, and like the way he sort of like bounces slightly as he lands, and he sort of looking around, like he's looking upstairs, like at the landing above where there's more bookshelves. It's yes, the portal, the tomes on portal magics and the machinations of the concourse and whatnot, they're all up there, he says, sort of like gesturing to the second first floor landing. Just all of see that book with the purple and gold binder, everything's just sort of the right of that. Yes, that's where we keep all of our portal collection, portal knowledge collected.
Thank you. Rush off.
And as you sort of like rush off, and there's a moment where you kind of go, how the hell do I get up to that floor? Where are the stairs? You note it, like your attention is nabbed for a moment by a figure that you hadn't realized was also in this library. There's a barrel in the corner of the room. Like in the corner of the corner of this space, and sat with sort of like one foot on the ground, the other crossed over, a staff kind of balanced across their lap, and a book, an open tome on top of the staff, is a dragon sense with what appears to be like with beautifully, almost iridescent sapphire scales. They've got two short horns that rise from the back of their kind of skull, finned like ear flaps off the sides of their heads, and like two like tendrils that hang from the sides of their snout, that remind you somewhat of a fish. A koi type fish. They are wearing quite naturalistic looking clothes, and the staff that's balanced across their lap seems to have this mushroom that's sort of like sprouting from one of the branches, and this like orange glowing rock, I guess. It looks a bit like a glowing stone that's wrapped in vines, and it seems to be acting like a very dim torch. But this dragon scent is just kind of pouring over the book, but in a way that he's just sort of like she's gently just flicking through the pages like she's browsing. The dragon scent pauses for a moment and then looks up to you. Nods.
The rain's like, how do I get up there?
There is a spiral staircase over behind that bookcase.
Thank you. Brush off.
As you go to turn, the dragon scent. If you don't mind me asking, you're feeling at a crossroads, yes?
Ruben moonwalks back. What do you mean?
I've always had a good sense to know when someone is unsure of the path the direction their life is taking them. Like all routes lead back to the same place. You strike me as a wanderer.
Are you a fortune teller?
The dragon scent smiles, and as the fates would have it, yes, that is exactly what I am.
So what do you say? What's the future?
If you have a moment, I have my stall in the wandering market outside of the walls of the town. Come and visit me, and we can have a look to see what lies ahead of you.
Okay. I have something to do right now, but I will go. Are you going to be there soon, or are you busy? Or...
The dragon scent nods. If you are interested, feel free to chuck me an open insight.
One moment. If I can find why won't it let me put my character sheet on the hotbar? I don't know. One second.
If you hit C, that'll pop it open.
Right, there's that as well. Insight, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Oh.
16. You kind of, as you say, are you going to be there? And she nods, and you go to leave. There's a moment where you kind of stop and sort of like do I suppose this is the triple take, and like the iridescent blue, gives you the impression that this dragon scent is most likely of the brood of Naravid. Now once known as the Seer, but after the war, known as the Doomsayer.
Oh. Well. They're just gonna ignore that in their head for a moment and just go and look at the books first. And I think what they'll do is, instead of going alone, they might go back first to the house and tell and see if anybody else wants to come with them.
Sure.
But for now, books.
Yes. So as you're going through the books, and is there anything in particular? Like, are you just looking for anything?
Yeah, anything that they will at least recognize, because at this point, I think they probably have no idea, because it's not their specialty. They know magic. They know they can understand. I assume they could understand things well enough when they read it, but they wouldn't know where to, as a knowledge, they wouldn't be able to go like, oh, I have to go here, and here to find this. It'd be more like, I'm gonna read everything and see what I got out of it.
Okay, so what you end up reading, and a lot of these tomes are relatively new because you know, Eschaton and new ideas and whatnot. A lot of it kind of really emphasizes how stable the portal network that spawns out of the concourse in Aevermoor is. Aevermoor spent a long time making sure that it was stable and that the best mages were on the task, and it's nigh on ironclad. Now, a portal can be damaged and destroyed, and that happened in this. One of the tomes tells you not too long ago in a town called Dorlashal, the portal was attacked, and there was a devastating kind of explosion as the arcane mana, which was no longer contained or being funneled, just kind of erupted into a singular space. But that is an absolutely freak occurrence and requires a phenomenal amount of energy and power to do so. Like the portals are tough cookies to crack. What is more likely to stop a portal from working is given it is a form of magical effect, is if a portal is, for all intents and purposes, dispelled. If it is counterspelled in some way, if it is counteracted, if it is, an opposite meets with it to sort of like clash and cancel it out. But that is, given the prowess of the portal mages of Aevermoor, that would require someone or something of, again, vast power and skill in order to effectively overpower, short circuit a portal. And therefore, it doesn't really happen. It doesn't happen, period.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, I guess like a part of it, they wanted to see if there's another explanation, because due to the experience, and I think this is echoed throughout the party as well, they probably suspect foul play, let's say. And that's a bit of a scary thought. But I think after reading all that, they can't really escape that thought anymore. That somebody, it has to be done purposefully, let's say.
As you think that thought, you hear the voice of Forrest, the little Aquan sprite, shout out from the ground floor. I just remembered, we were actually... you're not actually... It's curious. You're not the first person to ask about the portals in the past few days. I mean, normally, everyone just takes the portals for granted. But, curiously, the town's... trade liaison with Ruma Hironobu, he was asking about the portals and the runes and how they work. I thought it was a very curious thing to have a sudden interest in. But perhaps if you can find Bill Maud, then perhaps you should speak to him. He's probably down at the docks organising the ships, the boats heading up and down the river.
Ruvain stops for a moment, because I remember that somebody did tell them, right, that the mayor is in Ruma Hironobu. They're like, wait, what did you say? Ruma Hironobu?
Yes, the goblin under capital on at the base of the mountains. Yes, so the mayor is at Hironobu, but yeah, Bill Maud, I mean, he deals with the trade liaisons between us and the goblins. Yes, he very curiously he was asking about portals as well. Perhaps you should speak to him. He might have gleaned something that we've missed.
Thank you. I have to go. Bye. The roommate just jumps. I think they'll literally just jump down.
Oh! The sprite jumps back as you land. The gangly keeper Yara screams, the book falls off her face, she tips backwards, crashes to the ground.
chaos.
And then you're out of there like greased lightning.
Yep. I think they're gonna go immediately to that guy because I have a feeling like it does sound like he's about to leave, kind of deal.
Well, it's so if he's a trade meister, it's effectively he looks after the docks. Well,
So he'll be there.
That's his office. Yeah.
Actually, no. Then, because Ruvain is probably. Like I think they made a move to go there, and then they just kind of realized that they don't really know much.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're gonna go back to the house and talk to the adults. Actually,
Thanks, the adults. Okay. In which case, we catch up with you again. Ruvain, I can only imagine you've effectively booted the door open of Walter.
Run!
Through the wall, Ruvain cut out. And Ruvain, you have just like 100 miles an hour, I guess, splurged everything you've just learned.
Yes, basically, like I went to the library, searched, looking for portals, tell them what I found, and then of course about like this guy, this person. They ask about portals too. Oh, whatever name, but Bill.
So, Walter and Elsabeth, you have heard of, and you probably met the trade liaison, Bill Mahode, a rather kind of curious little goblin. Again, he's a little bit elderly, very much like his hat. But yes, he takes he takes pride in how well the wheels of trade between Harukaze and Hironobu have been greased by him. Very importantly, by him. He puts in a lot of time and effort, and we can all now reap the benefits. Yes, he's usually down at the docks.
This is great. It's so useful. Do you think we should go speak to him?
What else can we do?
It does feel sort of strange that he suddenly takes interest in the portals and now the one in here doesn't work.
Yeah, they'll probably tell everybody about the soothsayer, the doomsayer as well, because they were thinking about asking if anybody was interested to go in with them and talk to this person.
It's not really my line of inquiry, but I'm happy to accompany you if you want company, Zane.
I guess we can head back after talking to Bill. I think Bill is very important right now.
Bill is more important.
Okay. Is anyone else doing anything else, or are we all beelining to the docks?
To Bill.
Okay, fast travel to the docks. So as you head back down through Oremarket, round past the sort of like South Gate, along Incense Row, and there's I think those of you who are new to the town, you probably can't help but cough a little as the thick incense catches in the back of your throat. But there's this weird almost aftertaste of like leather curing products. Just the vile smell that will come out of that you can almost taste it in the back of your throat. But at least it's kind of covered somewhat by the incense. As you emerge out of the river gate on the west side of Harukaze, you follow the path down to the wooden jetty that kind of juts out into the river. You can see a number of like small boats, some tethered, some moored up to the docks, some out on the water. A lot of them look like the vast majority of them are oar-powered fishing boats. There's a couple of boats out in the water. You can see the fishers of Harukaze just gently kind of swinging their legs. You can see that there's one Laravel man who's clearly like nodded off, waiting for a fish to bite, and there's just like the fishing rod is just bouncing up and down and this Laravel is completely oblivious to it. But yeah, you're kind of in the shade slightly of the town behind you. The docks themselves are quite kind of blustery with activity. And you can see that there's like dock hands walking, heading about, unloading carts, pulling deliveries off boats and the like. Who's spearheading?
I mean, Ravane heard about this, so maybe we're relying on them.
Yeah, they have no idea, but they're gonna like try to look around for this person.
Sure. In which case, as you sort of like head onto the docks, as you look around, you notice in the sort of like the high-rise tower that's on the that's between the docks and the riverbank. But it looks like a watchtower similar to those you've seen throughout the rest of the town. But this one appears to have been almost converted into an office, like a quarter mile, a import-export kind of office, if you will. And as you kind of ascend the wooden stairs that wrap around this square tower, inside you spy this goblin with a very dapper-looking teal hat, a fur cloak, little rose-tinted pince-nez glasses balanced on the end of his nose, and he's kind of leaning on a walking stick whilst he leafs through like trade ledgers. And as you ascend the stairs and your footsteps ring out, Bill looks up and, "Can I help you?"
Are you Bill?
Yes. Guilty as charged.
Hi. So a few days ago, you went to look up information about portals. Why did you do that? Straight to the point.
Bill doesn't really know what's happening.
I thought Elspeth had the hammer to the face.
Yeah, Bill sort of like mouth flaps a little bit, looks at the five of you, and I will ask for open.
Oh no.
Yes, 8 insight willpowers.
Did you? Second. Willpower. No, that's my.
Is
Let's
this
not
just
do that.
Ravane or?
And that, anyone can jump in.
Cool.
Damn, Ruvain's rolling well today.
Speak to Bart.
Okay, so we got 16 from Ruvain, we got 12 from Kaya, we got 13 from Veronica, we got a 3 from Walter, and a 9 from Elspeth. Okay, so Kaya, you got a good result, and Ruvain and Veronica, you got great results. Bill just starts flapping a little bit, like the mouth is goldfishing, and I was I in the library? And I think to all but Walter, because maybe Walter, this is how you process your own thoughts, making noises like David Mitchell. The other, like, the rest of you kind of go, that you immediately acknowledge he's trying to cover something up. And there's a moment where Bill sort of like looks to the four of you, squints, realizes that you've realized like he's not done a good enough job. And I was at the library, yes. And he, like, the goblin blushes slightly. The truth of the matter is, there's a young lady in Hironobu. And I would quite like to spend some more time in her company. But I'm a bit long in the tooth now, so I was actually... I find this quite embarrassing. I was actually in the library trying to find books that gave me tips on how to court younger ladies. And then whilst I was looking, I happened to bump into the little sprite lad that runs the library, and he was reading through the portal books. And when he asked what I was doing there, I just had to lie and say that I was there looking for the same thing that he was, and that apparently that's portals.
Bill, are you a gods-fearing man?
Veronica! Go, Veronica!
It's Veronica with the hammer to the face.
Everyone is learning so well.
The Bill sort of like, I wouldn't say fearing, thankful, yes. I mean, after you've seen, when you see what befell Ruma Hironobu during the eschaton, but knowing that without the intervention of the power of Mount Yuji, we can only be thankful for what they've done for us.
If you're so thankful, then you wouldn't lie to a priest.
Bill, I don't suppose I would. No.
Do you know why Hironobu sent for our mayor?
Bill, that was curious, wasn't it? To call them away at such short notice. As I understand it, one of the trade cartels in Hironobu have discovered a new income stream, but was keeping it. No, please, you can't talk about this. It's still quite hush-hush, and there's a lot of wealth at stake here. But there seems to be this new revenue stream that's emerged, and the cartel prince would like to know if the mayor and Harukaze would like to share in this gold rush. If you excuse the poor taste, talking of gold in the same breath as Hironobu.
I see. And is this information you've got from your young lady friend?
I mean, she is one of the... to be fair, she is one of the more subtle of the socialites within Hironobu. But I'm sure that there are lots of discussion. There's a lot of gossip that happens in the powder, in the pampering parlours beneath the mountain.
I suppose, and if she asked you for any gossip from this part of the world, you would give it to her.
Only if it wouldn't. Well, I mean, I suppose anything could be said in light-hearted chit-chat, but I wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't get anyone in trouble by divulging the wrong thing. At least, I hope I wouldn't.
I hope so too. You know what they say about loose lips and ships.
I suppose I do, he says, and I'm quite fond of ships.
Bill? May I call you Bill? Bill. She puts her hand on his shoulders like, Bill. So you lied about looking at books about portals, implicating that you've been looking at portals, right?
Yes.
And she turns
It
him
would
around.
seem so, yes.
turns him around and looks him up towards the hill. What do you know is wrong up there, Bill?
Bill lifts his pince nez and... What's happened to the portal?
Yeah, now you've just become implicated in that because you've just told everyone you've been looking at books. So, Bill, if my deed may still call you Bill, if you have indeed been looking at portals, now would be the time to tell us that you've been looking at portals, because if you haven't been looking at portals and you have been looking at portals and the portal just turned off, you've kind of just implicated yourself in a crime that may have just happened. Do you see the problem I'm having here, Bill?
Bill leans his walking stick against the table and puts his hands up, palms up, almost in a surrendery whoa 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 kind of way. And if I may interject, I would be quick to remind you that the whole reason for this little ruse, this charade, is because I found young Forrest looking at the books on portals. And I appreciate he is a lawkeeper, he's a tonekeeper, but he's always been someone to gather the book, put the book on the shelf, and leave the book be. Why was he looking at the portal law?
Can we roll to see if that feels like a lie or truth at this point?
Yeah, I mean, by all means, it'll be all insight willpower again, I guess.
Mm-hmm. No.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna roll as well.
Okay, so we got an 8 for Kaya.
And then inside willpower.
All the dice.
Still a load of dice.
You know what?
I got a crit. I got 2 twos. That's a crit,
I'm
right?
No. Only for Kaya when she's fighting.
I'm not happy with this, so
Crits
I
are
am.
6/6.
Can I re-roll with Fabula point?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I'm the roommates are letting this go. They're like, I'm trying to think. I feel like it's optimistic would work in this case.
Yeah, and
I feel like it's a bit more.
if one of your traits was burning cynicism.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what are your traits? Free-spirited traveler, optimistic, and you come from a place.
Well,
I don't think any of your traits would let you.
With the town, would it? I mean, it's not saying here, but I was telling about it how there's a lot of people coming and going.
Sure.
And they have met all kinds of people.
Okay.
Maybe it can push them a bit to be a bit suspicious at first.
Down to you, Alec, to convince us what's right.
Yeah. Okay. If that's the nature of your origin,
yeah.
Crack on. Yeah.
So it's just a little chance of going, suspicious person, looking weird over here. Nope. Nah, they're not doing it. Let me take
Ironclad. Watertight.
Yeah, ironclad. Yeah, no. They're like, this guy is telling the truth right here.
So, well, I mean, Bill is raising a good point. Why would Forrest be in that section reading on the books, that's on the second floor over in the corner? Why? What was Forrest doing up there? And also, Ruvain, I mean, you saw that Forrest had this floating magical lantern. So is he a mage? Does he have the ability to cast spells? It's a pretty valid accusation. Well, not an accusation.
But
worth chasing, let's say.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, we're going to look into this, but if I find out you've been lying to us, I'll happily spend another night in jail. All right?
Please, I'm certain it won't come to that. There must be some misunderstanding.
Just need to make sure we're very clear on this, Bill. I will be back. Turns out you've lied.
Of course. If I could also
Bill.
request that you don't mention anything about the lady friend.
Oh no, we're all going to come back about that later, Bill.
later I can do.
Bill.
Yes.
When the others have wandered off and are out of earshot, Veronica just puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "The worst she can do is say no."
And Bill, like, frowns a little bit and, if only that were true.
She can do worse.
Bill just kind of gives you this look, like this slightly deflated, almost sympathetic looking, and sort of like nods his head towards the door, and the others are heading down. So, what now, brown cows?
To the library to confront Forrest, I guess.
Okay. As back through the town.
We really are getting our
Back up
steps
the road.
today.
Back up the rise.
Exercise.
Who decided to build a town on a hill? God damn it. As you head back up the hill, you see so the library, as you reach the library, you notice that the library doors are closed, and with Vane, they weren't closed when you were there earlier. Like, doors closed,
Suspicious.
lights are off, kind of thing.
They're gonna knock on the door.
As you knock on the door, effectively from like behind a barrel, just on the corner of the building, this, like, you it's not from behind a barrel. There's this sort of like balcony built onto the second floor of the library, and there's some relatively low hanging wooden beams that hold it up. And as you knock on the door, you hear like a shuffle, and then ooh! And as you turn around, Yara is stood at the corner of the building, like both hands on her forehead, stood behind this support beam that she's just sort of like walked straight into, not taking her lanky keeper height into consideration, and she's like rubbing her forehead furiously. And as she pulls it away, you can already see sort of like the redness spreading around either side of her white headband, and you notice that a bit of her horn has snapped off and embedded in the like in this wooden timber. And then she's like, "Oh, wait, I didn't see it. Hello," she says, sort of like she's got her eyes clamped, but she's looking in your direction.
Like, is that Yala? And they're just kind of like,
I don't know if there's a Yala. I haven't seen a god. I'm Yara, though.
"Oh, Yara." Okay. Hi, it's me again. Ruvain, is Forrest there?
No, he's just popped out. I'm not allowed to be in the library when he's not here. I'm not allowed to be in there unsupervised, he says. But yeah, he actually just headed up to the portal.
I see. Thank you. We'll find him there.
Okay. Further up the hill.
Up the hill again.
Up the hill again. And as you sort of like make your way further up the hill, as you pass Oematsu, Ruvain, you see Lathriel sort of like waiting on the road, and Ruvain, there you are. I see you're in a bit of a rush. Is everything okay?
No, not really, but we are in a rush, so I'll come back.
Okay. And yeah, the other four of you see this sort of like this elderly Ace of our man just sort of like watch, like head going backwards of like left to right as he watches all five of you run past him.
Friend of yours?
Sorry, what was that?
Friend of yours?
Yes, well, kind of.
Tell us about it later.
Yeah, I will.
As you get to the plateau at the top of the town, you find that the Snadger and the Varn Consortium merchant have been kind of cleared away, and the front of the space in front of the portal is now empty. Is now freed up. It looks a bit odd seeing this portal arch with no kind of shimmering field, like not seeing another city through the archway. But Masanore is stood in front of the portal, and he's got his staff in his hand. And as he's sort of like gesticulating with his arms, you can see that kind of blue mote of mana that was floating on the end of the staff, kind of transforming and reshaping, kind of forming runes as it almost looks like he's painting these runes in the sky with the tip of his staff. And sort of like stood behind him is Forrest with there's tomes all around him, and he's got one tome open, and a bit more curved on that one. He seems to be instructing Masanore on the runic construction, and Masanore, you hear him, curved in what way? He sort of like shouts back. And Forrest sort of like stops and notice there's the five of you. I imagine hearing some of you huff as you sort of like run up the rise. And that was quick. Did you manage to find Bill?
No, we did. He said that it was you who was looking up the books.
And Forrest looks to you, and why would I be looking at the portal books?
I mean, it does sound really weird, but we had to check it out.
And Forrest sort of looks to you, and I'm a lawkeeper. I get the books, I put them on the shelf, and I make sure they stay in good condition. He also said that when he bumped into you, he lied to you about what he was looking at. Was that true? Did that happen? I'm sorry, Masanori. I'm sorry. Lie to me about what?
But he said that he told you that he was he said that he was looking at other kind of books or something about courtship, I guess. But
as you're saying, as you're sort of like explaining yourself, and Forrest is just like face scrunched up, shaking his head like, "What are you on about?"
I'm just telling you what he told me, okay?
Masanore is sort of like, "And what now? And what now?" He's shouting for his next instruction. And then the sheriff stops, and your attention is grabbed by him going, "Huh." And you've noticed that he's lowered his staff, and the rune above his head hasn't dissipated. And between the five of you, or seven of you, including Forrest and Masanore, you then watch as this floating arcane rune begins to seemingly start shifting, as if it's recalibrating, reconfiguring. Mm-hmm. And in lieu of the light blue that Masanore has effectively been scribing in, you watch as this rune starts to lose its color. It's desaturating until it becomes almost silvery. And then you then watch this rune fly up and seemingly attach to the top of the archway. And it flashes, and then all the runes around the portal kind of stop glowing, as if the ritual is completed. And Masanore frowns, and it's been a while, but it didn't do that last time.
Masanore, issue an evacuation order right now.
And the sheriff turns to look at you and, but why, what, What for? And as he says it, you all feel this pulse of energy explode from the empty archway, strong enough that it all kind of knocks you back a step or two. And Masanori is sort of almost bowled over, given that he kind of wasn't paying attention. Forrest is knocked onto his backside. And as the sheriff turns to look back at the portal, you watch as it looks like a silvery, mercury-like liquid begins trickling out of the edges of the archway, reaching towards the center, like grasping fingers. And as you see your reflections in this metallic sheen, distorted and like constantly in motion, the silver in the center begins to turn a blood red.
Oh, no.
They've not disrupted the portal, they've redirected it.
And as you say that, Amasanori's eyes open. He turns to the portal just as the red completely envelops the metallic silver. And then with a snap, the red vanishes, and in its place is a location you have never seen before. And as you take, but you're at the same time, your attention is also snatched by the bright glimmers of silver that reflect the bleeding red of the portal that lingers on the edge of the portal itself. And as you stand somewhat stunned, figures begin to emerge through the portal. Soldiers dressed in gleaming silver armor, carrying exotic-looking black metal firearms, the designs of which you feel you've never seen before. They run their armors are identical over their uniforms. There are blood red tassels that hang from their shoulder pads. This is an alien foreign force. And the image behind them shimmers as a hulking, keeper-sized golem strides from the portal. And in the moments that follow, you realize it is the first of many. The golems with these high rising shoulder pads and a macabre skull-like faceplate and a chest armor design that mimics ribs. As the lead golem strides through this portal, you see it is clutching a blade the size of one of you. And as these soldiers run through and take a moment to glance around and get their bearings, they see the group of you staring back at them. And one of the soldiers at the front shouts, "Attack!" And the guns are lifted in your direction. And with that, elsewhere, on Anagra Docks, from his watchtower turned import-export office, Bill looks up to the portal of Harukaze and watches as it reignites. And as he, humming to himself, cleans his pince-nez glasses on his coat and then places them back upon the bridge of his nose. "Time to leave," he says to himself, and picks up the satchel at the side of his table and begins making his way down the watchtower steps. Everyone, take a Fabula point. That cutscene. And congratulations, everyone, on completing episode 4.
Bill, we have our eyes on you, Bill.
We're gonna find him. We're gonna find him.
We're gonna hunt him down. Right, 1 Fabula points.
There we go. We are on to the finale of our little adventure here. Who are these mysterious soldiers? Who could they be? We will find out in our next episode, which will be next Monday at 7:30 p.m. So, as we come to the end of this, the second and final prequel of our 4th campaign, be sure to join us next week. If you are watching us, you know what? I keep doing this. I'm just gonna speed run the outro. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you are watching us on Twitch, make sure to hit the follow button. If you want to chat about what we're doing and the stories that we're telling, jump into our Discord. Links are in the description, and you can see the art that we've used and Natter, and you can help name things and just be part of the community. If you really want to support us, we have a YouTube membership and a Patreon. They are £2 a month, and that gives you early access to some of our content, as well as hopefully in the near future some exclusive content. Early access content such as Nate's Daggerheart campaign, Sanctuary, which is coming to an end relatively soon. So good time to catch up with that. So, with all that said, thank you everyone for playing. Thank you everyone for watching and or listening. See you next week for the finale.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.